pumpkin soup and mashed potatoes.
All right.
Slightly less. Hang on, got something in your hair or what?
That's a thing.
You've attracted a bit of
Blossom.
fluff.
It's a fluff. Dinky fluff.
Welcome everyone to
Yes.
the final day of disco at your former doorstep.
Mhm.
We've left Haldern.
Yeah, we have.
We are at somebody else's doorstep.
Yeah, we're almost at our own doorstep.
Yeah, we are in Leiden.
I think we'll be quite happy to say goodbye to each other for a few days. As wonderful of a weekend as we've had.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back in Leiden, and we're thinking about yesterday.
Yeah.
So
When all my troubles seem so far away. Yeah, they did.
Haldern already seems very far
It
away.
does, that's the problem.
Although we have had a very smooth transition.
We want to
shall
put it on
say,
record.
outside of a very unfortunate toilet incident on the train, which no one wants to talk
touching wood, we want to put on record that we want every return journey from Haldern to be just like that one.
Yeah, but with cleaner toilets.
But with cleaner toilets.
Yeah.
So yesterday,
Yesterday was
where to start?
I was.
I was going to start, just to jump
Will
in.
you start? Because I'm still joking.
I'm going to start to say I wasn't thinking. Okay, there's a couple of things I wanted to see, namely Jodie Greip. What have you said that like a Dutchman? Jodie Greip and Natalie Foolish. And the rest, I thought, okay, I watched most of it. And you wanted to see Bonnie Prince Billy.
I did.
Yeah.
And then the rest
Wanted
of the
to
day,
see Bonnie Prince Billy
for a
for
long
over 20
time.
years.
The rest of the day blossomed into another absolutely classic. It was one of this year. I think it's been one of the greatest albums.
Well, that's where I was trying to kind of sum up in my head. It's like, I think, we were talking about this last night, I think it's one of the strongest in terms of just like kind of pound per pound, like knockout performances,
Experiences.
back-to-back experiences of like a really, really strong festival lineup.
Yeah.
And yesterday was amazing. In terms of numbers, I think we probably saw a bit less yesterday than some days, but
Sold out.
almost everything I saw was.
Oh no. Okay, you
Fantastic.
said, it's all that. Yeah.
We started off in the church.
We started. We started with Dela from Cyprus. Who had this kind of smoky, very sort of considered blues rock, which is kind of PJ Harvey-ish at times, and then it veered into more a blues territory, but then veered into a ridiculously oddball cover of Massive Attack. There's a Massive Attack.
That was a very good cover.
It was a very good cover.
The end of the set was great.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was not inside.
No.
I was outside, sitting in the beer garden, chatting with friends. But what was kind of coming through the windows,
Great voice.
The voice was a bit annoying for me at the start because there was a bit of like yeah about her. But then towards the back end of the set, she jollied up a bit.
Yeah.
And what I heard for the back end was great.
And then after that,
But
anyway.
I didn't see it, so I don't.
I thought it was a
Classic
good show. I
record.
thought it was a good show. Jella was interesting. I thought she was an interesting artist.
But then we fought our way, some of us at least, into the church for Bonnie Prince Billy.
Yeah.
And it was instantly obvious, like even an hour before that gig started, that of the 7,000 or so people at Haldern, 5,000 of them wanted to see Bonnie Prince Billy and were
Yeah.
trying to get into the church. So if ever there was a thing of like, this should have been on the main stage to
was that
accommodate
one.
everyone, it was that one. And I was a bit worried because the sound in the church for the couple of days previous had been pretty weak. And if you were sat anywhere near the back, it was like almost unintelligible.
Yeah.
Even though some of the performances were good, you had to kind of get
Yeah.
close. So as I said, I fought my way up to the front. Marcel, I think you were sat there almost an hour beforehand to make sure you couldn't get.
I got there half an hour before, but I was lucky enough to go into to the back door,
Yeah.
and I ran into one of my new friends, and they said like, "Oh, there's space here."
Run into one of your new friends.
One
We'll
of
come
his
back to
many.
that later. But
Yeah.
that's something we need to return to because that is how it in a nutshell. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
But Bonnie Prince Billy was extraordinary.
it was.
He had I think a 5-piece band, including himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And there was a lot of wind instruments. There were a lot of flutes, and you know how I feel about flute.
yeah.
You're not a flute man, are you?
Not a flute man, and there were a lot of flutes. but it didn't annoy me at all. And just the layering of the songs, but more importantly, like how they performed them, was incredibly powerful. And really kind of interesting to kind of watch almost like the delicacy of it, but then just the way he was able to just use his voice, even if he's just making like a howling noise, and like stepping away to like he really kind of played with the space between every thing very, very cleverly, and used the space that they were in quite cleverly. And I did enjoy his multiple, shall we say, snide put downs of essentially saying building churches like this is a magnificent waste of time.
Yeah, it's time we use churches for other things.
Yes. But he was. I mean, I've been wanting to see him for a long time, and he did not disappoint.
Definitely not.
A quite stunning.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'd eaten trout.
No, you eaten the trout that they saved for you.
They saved me a trout. It was a big trout, and it was pulled in pieces by spoons, expertly laid on a plate. Creamed spinach and 2 potatoes, and it saved me because I was struggling at that point. It saved me enough for me to walk over to go and buy 2 pairs of shoes. They were selling Japanese paper shoes, as you can see there. Extremely comfortable things. And then went to see 1,000 Rabbits. Actually, I had an amazing run of gigs actually. 1,000 Rabbits, which I wasn't expecting anything of. I mean, the name 1,000 Rabbits doesn't sort of endear me to sort of, I don't know. I mean, this is not a name I would want to have as a band. But there again, what came out of the Smeagol Tent was this really weird amalgam of British Cambridge folk, prog, Caravan, Henry Cow, Hatfield and the North, these kinds of bands from the early 70s, maybe even a bit of Gong, and this kind of emo screaming, and I thought, I sent you a text saying, I don't think we're going to like this, and I could hear it from outside. I thought to myself, this is a bit intense, a bit over the top. Went in, saw the band, they were having the time of their lives, absolutely positive, big smiles. I thought, and then what you realise is, when you see something, as opposed to hearing it, the sort of human connection of seeing something and seeing how an emotion plays out, regardless of it being heard in a different kind of emotion, really makes a difference. And then I thought,
performance,
they were brilliant. They were great. Immediately after that, I ran up to buy some more Japanese paper shoes, and saw the Love Buzz on the main stage, who had this fantastically clangy guitar sound. They wanted to very kind of power poppy, television-esque numbers, sharp, short, really, really enjoyable band. There was a lot of very short gigs on the main stage that day, like half an hour. Della was the same, everything was over in half an hour. And then ran back to the Smeagol Tent to see Cherie when I bumped into you lot again. And Cherie, they reminded me a bit of CSS, Talking Heads. The CSS thing, that whole Let's Make Love, Death and the Wolf kind of thing, that kind of groove. And it's a Canadian band, so there's Montreal. So you have French speaking and American speaking, English speaking in the band, and this kind of mix between the two really worked. And they had this really infectious groove to them, sort of ticked away. And I thought they were one of the bands of the day actually.
Up to that moment.
Were they the
were
they the ones in leather?
No, we're going to come to that.
Because that's the moment. Because that's the moment that we came in.
Completely the wrong way around. That was last security, so I beg their pardon. Cherie were the leather rockers.
Because that's the moment that we appeared.
That's the moment that we appeared, and we saw them, and I thought they didn't the singer didn't look like a tall Mariska Veris. They were all poured into leather and flares. And the
how they handled
32
that
degrees
tent.
heat.
No, it was 32 degrees heat outside the tent. Inside it was probably closer to 50.
It was
but how they handled that in leather.
But they were actually they played kind of good strutting 70s rock. They ended up with a Black Sabbath That's
It
like
was
a medley.
a weird medley.
A medley that
Yeah.
started with Paranoid and then it started.
Well, it started
Deep
with
Purple.
Whole Lot of Love, then it went into
Whole Lot of Love.
Paranoid,
That's
then
right.
it went into Cherry Bomb,
Cherry Bomb.
and then went into something, and I was like,
There's a purpose on it.
I don't think anyone's ever really thought that putting those four together in a medley was a good idea. I still don't think it is. To be fair. But then they played one of their own stuff afterwards.
It was good. I thought they were good.
They were good, jolly, happy, and incredibly
Well,
sweaty.
Strutting rock band, I thought. And then we went, saw Julia Effect. It's great, you know, to know Deutsche Welle, New Wave. Obviously, we're big fans of that.
The
But
last-
in the heat, in the broiling heat of the mid-afternoon, absolutely knockout volume, and the register was pretty high. It wasn't the kind of music I really wanted to hear at that particular time.
The first half of the set, as we were kind of walking towards them and chatting with friends, felt like the same song done repeatedly.
Yeah.
But then
Actually,
the last three songs were obviously like I would say they're probably their big hit singles. And those three really worked.
Yeah.
And the crowd were well
Yeah,
up for
so Julia Effect, we
it.
will.
But good God, it was hot.
It was ridiculous at that point. And then anyway, we went back, and then the band I've just described, who wasn't the band that they were on
you
the
thought
list,
they were.
they thought they were, La Sécurité. They, as I said, they were, this fantastically, there's such an amount of brio to what they did. Three girls, all interacted in this kind of like vixen-esque way. I hope that doesn't patronising in any way. Hopefully, a nice mix of CSS and Talking Heads and other kind of funk.
We had a real good,
Vibe to them,
groove
didn't
to
it?
them.
Yeah, they were great. They were
a lot of fun.
actually they're kind of the kind of band that they could be something. I think.
There'll be one I'll be
something about
following
them.
because they had a real nice kind of dancey side to them and were a lot of fun. The show was quite well done.
They were
but
the
they
switch
really,
between
they
singers.
really,
I thought was great. A good bass player as well.
they really got the temp moving. It was good.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot. Next up was
The next up was, while Celeste Security were doing things in the tent, we saw a Swiss lady walking around in a bikini, prepared to come on the stage. And that
She was the savior of a Swiss rave.
Natalie Foolish.
Yes.
Now, that was interesting because
to say we saw a lot of her is easy to say.
I mean,
she was great.
dancers were
That sounds like that's a very flippant comment, and it sounds like I'm putting it down.
no, she was great.
She was intense.
Yeah.
She was in your face. She was quite enthusiastic, shall we say?
I think she
with
was
two
strident.
dancers
I think
and
she
a
was
really,
strident.
a really interesting kind of aggressive
Yeah, it's aggression.
rap, rave crossover kind of.
Well, it was like it was a show, and the thing was, it employed rave, rap, dancing, and kind of proselytising. So you had something where she would go like, some people wanted to send me rape threats, some people sent me death threats, some journalists called me an asshole or something. But she said, "You're the asshole, fuck you." And I thought there was a proper kind of a real angle there that was like, it wasn't a kind of Showtime angle. It's against saying she actually said at one point, you do what you want in your life, and I thought that was a really good. She was very direct and forceful, but it was really well done. The fact that it wasn't coy, it wasn't trying to play up, and it wasn't pretend. It was the real thing. That made it different.
And everybody went with her. So she really was welcome. And as much as it's something that I know for a fact I will never listen to it all, I was really impressed by the show.
Yeah, the dancers were fantastic. So
but it was good to have something very, very different and very, not so much left field, but like here's something with a bit of that same intensity, that kind of rock feeling that a lot of Haldern looks for, but coming from a different angle.
What you're going to look at, you look at the acts that all go down that page at that point. This Thousand Rabbits, Sherry Sherry, Less Security, Letter of Furnish, the Love Bus. They're all individuals. All the bands seem to have been formed out of their own ideas. They weren't really looking to be anyone else.
No.
However much they reminded us of other things, they were just individual bands doing the music they wanted to play. And I think that comes across really strongly at Haldern. That happens all the time. There's an element of this band has to stand out. It can't be part of the scene. It can't be something that a booker or some terrifyingly boring journalist can go, oh yeah, it sounds like this, therefore it's that. You can't do that with these exactly. So that was just another one. And then we had a bit of a break. I can't remember Tyler Ballgame.
Tyler Ballgame wasn't there. It was replaced by the Itch.
The Itch played two.
Great.
Of course, the Itch played 2 sets. You're right. Yeah, that was really good. That was again another thing.
These were like a last minute surprise.
Yeah.
But my God, they were good.
Yeah.
They're like really a real nice mix of dance, like dancey kind of beats, but with a real kind of rock, like 2 rock guitars in the middle of it. So a real kind of crossover, but very like I would still class them as an indie act. But God, they were good.
Big sound,
they were
big
strong,
Yeah.
really anthemic, but without being chorus.
Yeah, the anthemic thing was it.
Very danceable, very danceable.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, they were good. And there was that kind of also that British industrial pop music. So you have that thing where there's a rope bridge you can throw between New Order and the Prodigy. So there is something there that links those 2 bands, and I think that was, if I was going to pick a band, it was like Prodigy maybe, but also this New Order-esque kind of big choruses. You know what I mean? It worked really well. And then after that, we saw the 113.
They were great.
That was a great gig, actually.
That was a great
gig.
We were stupid enough to go and stand in the Niederrhein tent.
Yeah.
In the mid, so it was possibly the sweatiest I've been in quite a few hours.
And dustiest because there's so much dust.
Yes. So that the whole of Haldern, main
dust.
ground space, because it's been so dry, it's turned into a dust bowl.
Yeah.
So as everyone's kind of moving from stage to stage, it was literally like in a sandstorm.
Yeah.
Because we were sweating, we just all looked like donuts.
Yeah.
It was
did.
like
It was
just frosted with sand.
My legs haven't been as mucky since my 11th birthday. Since I've been playing football, I was covered. It was like a film and stuff, and then you could just see this kind of haze around it, and around where it was, the sound. It was, regardless of that, the gig was knockout for 2 reasons. First of all, I thought, every time I thought, I know where this song's going, it didn't.
Yeah.
And they were very good at reversing expectations of the sound, using things in a different way, allowing emotions to come in at certain points. They're a very emotional band, and there's a lot of that kind of music, like hard, aggressive, angry, amped up post-punk in the sense of it being played at a certain speed. The bass player had a Gurriers t-shirt on, so that will give you an idea where they're coming from. But it was clever. It was clever in a way that Wire used to be clever. The idea of them just playing half the song and then going to switch tempo, drop the beat, allow other instruments to come in. There was a certain, imagine like kind of, the Wire thing. I'm trying to work it out now, but it's like a northern version of Wire.
That band could very easily have just gone heavy into the squall and the confrontation of the vocal, but they don't. They balance that with a real kind of driving, almost kind of funk,
And we said at one point,
motoric kind of like dancey side of them, and that's what drives them. And then they can let that squall go up and down around where
and we know because they built a set. That was actually kind of one thing that you don't often see in bands.
It's really well paced. That set.
It was brilliant. And then anyway, so we watched that. We walked past Sportfreunde to it. Not for us, but everyone else in the crowd knew every song.
Everyone was there for them.
Yeah. They were.
They had the biggest crowd of the day.
And at that point, we decided we were going to get in position for Jordy Grief in the speaker set, which is I'm not sure whether this is possibly the best show I've seen at Haldern, but it's got to be one of them. In terms of musicianship, I think it's...
It depends what you want from a gig.
Yes.
In terms of feeling part of it or something, no, but in terms of just simply being blown away by what you've seen on stage. Like almost speechless to watch how much fun that band were having just doing their thing. But doing their thing is really hard to even kind of explain to people what they're doing.
Well, we can
it so
We
good.
should actually, because we talked to Geordie after, you know, I've known Geordie a bit, and I said, Geordie, that was something else, and I said, like, you know, it reminded me, I mean, my instant take was like, this is like a cabaret version of Miles Davis's Pangea. And he went, yeah, but what I want to be the James Brown of rock. And I thought, that's it. He said, I want to move. He said, I want to make everything into a gesture because the music is incredibly gestural. You know, the way he plays guitar, the way he was nodding to the musicians that came in. It was like a complete cabaret. Someone came and did something, and someone dropped out. Even when and even when they didn't want to go where they thought they were going to go, they were able to get out of it and then come back to the structure of the song. The songs on this new record, new sound, were completely bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Just rebuilt because it's more orchestrated. He really is like a proper band leader.
Yeah, he is.
Standing there, like almost, but like to watch him, and you can see him 2 steps ahead of the band.
Yeah.
So he's like he's kind of leaning in, and I've seen people like James Brown and a couple of other people do that, and you can see that they're obviously thinking about this, but their brain is like so far ahead of whatever he was doing. But then also you can see him throwing things in to kind of test them.
Yeah.
And like, let's see if we can push it up.
Like,
That's about-
tap.
yeah. And then, like, some things he's just, it sounds like he's just scatting on stage.
Yeah,
But he's not, he's given a reference for someone to build upon.
Yeah.
So he'll be going like, skibbity bop bop, ba-doo bop, ba-doo boom boom.
And
And the next thing, the drum will go,
G.
skibbity boom boom.
It was
good.
amazing. I'm like, I've never seen. I've not. I mean, just to jump in, I've never seen musicians. And I've seen musicians working, obviously, for years working together, but having constant eye contact.
Yeah.
Like constant eye contact. Even his bass player, his drummer, were constantly talking about, okay, let's do this, let's do that, and it was literally live. And what was interesting, because you had his back to the audience, and we heard a friend of ours, Tom, from the pop festival, saying like, because it was a mirror tone, it was good sound. He had his back to the audience, but you could see him in loads of different mirrors. Doing his thing, and I don't know whether Jordan knew that, but regardless, it was like incredible. Incredible to see.
No, it's, I mean, just the most impressive set. Like just walks about like, holy. And there was one band, I won't see what it is, but we walked out, and one of the guys was next to me, and as we were walking just down the ramp to come out, he went, I've never felt more inferior as a musician in my life. They were like, they just blew everyone away. I mean, it was like, talk about like a force. It was powerful, intelligent, erratic, odd, groovy, alarming. It was everything all at once. I think I joked to you, I was like, let's play everything in 30 minutes. What do you mean everything? I mean everything.
I've never had a gig that went so much difficult extemporised music goes so fast. I felt like it was like 5 minutes after, and I think I've not taken my hands off this for 40 minutes.
I agree.
It was brilliant.
And to be fair, like anyone who was going to follow that,
Forget it.
I'm sorry, you're in trouble. Like, you
No
gotta
one can
have a
follow
bit
that.
of
That's when I.
So you guys kind of pretty much called it a day in terms of.
But you didn't, did you?
I did because we had such a laugh last year with Full Moon in Space, and they had what we described at that point as like the happiest guitar player in the world.
Yeah, he was
and we were
happy.
just giggling through their gig because it was a little bit ramshackle. So I thought I want to see where they are this year, and now they are all the happiest. Band in the world. When I walked into the side of the stage to take a seat, I almost got kicked in the head because the singer was doing a cartwheel across the stage, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of snuck in, up to the side, and Mr. Happy Guitarist was still being Mr. Happy Guitarist, but one of the other guitarists has suddenly become bouncy Mr. Pogo guitarist. So you've got one jumping up and down like just like a little Jack in the Box. You've got one kind of kicking his legs out and having a whale of a time. You've got a singer rolling on the floor and kicking his legs in the air, and you've got one guy on the right hand side who's just running backwards and forwards, and then you've got the final guitar player who's decided, no, I'm still serious and I'm going to stand here and I'm not moving. But they were they're just an odd band, but I can't help but like them because they've got this real kind of psychedelic stuff, and they put on a good show. but I can't stop laughing at them because they're just so hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of kids who like get out like, woohoo, hey, hey.
It was like that, yeah.
If you put them in rabbit ears, they look like a little.
They look like
Like-
10 rabbits rather than 5.
Indeed.
Yeah. So that's what happened, and
And that was the
that was
last
it.
of our.
That was the last of our Haldern, and here we are, kind of in the Germans have this great word, Sehnsucht,
Yes.
and we are full of Sehnsucht
Yes.
right now.
And a bag full of memories.
A bag full of.
A bag full of pasta.
I've got in my bag. I've got caviar, exciting pasta, beetroot juice.
Some plush.
A strange tin that I don't know what to do with,
Of course.
but we'll find out.
And tins of fish, I hope.
There are 20 tins of fish and other spread around other receptacles.
All right.
So happy man. That's Norman. All hail the Norman.
Yes. So, can we wrap this up?
Yes.
How can we? Well, we can say what are we looking forward to then? I'm
Yeah.
gonna say next year.
I'm looking forward to
Next year.
To sleep. Would be good. To
Thai curry.
something vegetable.
Something with vegetables in it, yeah, please. Yeah.
Solids. As always, Haldern has been like it's the greatest place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the greatest place. It's the
In fact, actually, what we're going to do now
company
to finish
are
up,
amazing.
you're going to take that, and I'm going to give this Marcel, and it's
You're gonna
Marcel's first time ever in Haldern, full day.
For me,
You can wrap
Yeah.
it up.
it was a great festival. Saw amazing bands on the stage. Met a lot of people backstage or outside of the stages. It was. Last year I was there one day and got a feeling of what it could be. And this year I was there for the full set, and it was, I think, everything that I would like it to be.
And you were fully welcomed in by everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
no,
you
I've
already seen that.
mentioned new friends, and I think for me, the whole reason for going back is more
Yeah.
for the amount of friends that we have there.
Yeah.
And it felt great to witness that circle of friends welcome you in as well as everybody else. But it's just effortless there.
Yeah.
The group is incredible. The people are amazing, and yeah, it's just much love to the place. It's
Yeah,
something
definitely.
else.
All right then.
All right.
All right.
Now we're off.
And we're off.